First things first, I know the heat's been an issue for a lot of guys all week. How are you feeling? What did you expect that coming in?
Yeah, I mean, it's Washington, D.C. in July, so we're all used to it, especially with the rain that's been around. It's been, crazy humid and hot. I felt great all week on court, knock on wood. I'm going to, hopefully continue to feel well, hopefully through the weekend if I keep playing. But, yeah, I felt good and played the earlier matches, so that's a big confidence, going into the rest of the summer that I played in the heat of the day.
Hi, congratulations. This was your third win over Milos. What was the difference in today's match as opposed to other times you've played him?
Honestly, we've always had close matches, I thought. It's come down to a point here and a point there. I would like to say I took care of my serve well. I think I was down love 35 different times on my serve, but I was able to hold. So obviously that's big against a guy like that. Usually when you get down a break, the set is over most of the time. Was able to scrap out. I thought I was able to play, my defensive points today and get back in and, like I said, scrap out some balls and stay in the points very well today, and I think it paid off.
I know it's a scorcher today, and I know you're tired of hearing about the heat and can't wait to relax. But tell us, how does the weather in D.C. compare to what you're going to face in New York?
I don't know. Something about New York, it just feels hot. Obviously, I've had a rough pass there for a couple of years, when I full body cramped and had some unfortunate, exits there. But like I said, I've been playing, at the hottest times here pretty much all week and yesterday and today, and felt great. So, like I said, it gives me a lot of confidence going into the rest of the summer. But we all train for these times and practice and do fitness in these conditions to get ready. But yeah, something about New York, it just feels hotter than the rest of them.
Jack, kind of a random question. I know you're buddies with Nick Kyrgios, who was telling us a little bit earlier this week that he was not only struggling physically but also mentally with his game, and you saw what Marty Fish went through a couple of years ago. It might be a silly question, but what is it about tennis, not just being out there alone, but kind of being on the tour and the schedule you guys keep that's, I guess, so mentally taxing for a lot of athletes, more than other sports maybe?
I mean, I don't know. Obviously, people love to think, you're a pro athlete, life is glamorous, and it's all, rainbows and butterflies. But especially tennis, I think. Obviously, you have the physical side of it, where you're on court and you play in these conditions where you're, exhausted at the end of the day, and we're not all, flying private, like other maybe, sports and teams and organizations. It's an individual thing, and you're playing these conditions, and if you lose, obviously you're not in a great mood, then you're flying to the next city, the next day, checking another hotel room. Yeah, I mean, some people, think it's amazing, but obviously it can get tiring after a while. We all have our normal lives and families and friends at home that we miss. You're gone, especially, from being from Australia. He's not home that often. Obviously, it's tough travel to get back there. So I think, even right now, he's gone from. He started here in D.C. and I think he wouldn't be home until after Asia maybe. So. It's not that easy to hop on a plane and get back to Australia. So, it's a little bit different for them. But yeah, I mean, it's a long year. It's not a lot of rest time. Even when you have a week off, you're still having to train and practice. So, it definitely can get tiring. I've had my moments as well. But, if you want to be, the best of this sport or make the most of your time, you gotta find ways to get through it.
Do something like work on your mental strength. Like, how do you go about?
It's a personal thing. Everyone's different. Everyone goes about it a different way. I have my, set of people and people very close to me that I can count on. If it's a phone call or being at home and talking to them. There's people in your life. For everyone, it's different, but people in your life that you can go to and that'll help you, get through tough times.
Jack, going into the U.S. Open, do you feel any more pressure or expectations this year than when you played it a couple of years earlier when you were younger, or do you just treat it like any other major of the year?
I mean, try to treat it like any other major. It's by far my favorite tournament of the year. Last year was was a big step for me getting that second week and making the fourth round, having chances in that fourth round. But yeah, there's no tournament like it. It's the most exciting event of the year for me, and playing in front of that electric crowd, home fans, and yeah, I mean, I'd like to say it feels like every other tournament or every other slam, but it doesn't. And yeah, I mean, I love to go out there. It's the 2 weeks of the year I'd love to play my best tennis and produce my best results.
Jack, if you were a baseball player, you would most likely play a late game every night, sleep late in the morning, play another late game at night. Tennis is obviously, I mean, could be bizarrely different from day to day. How do you deal with that? Is there an instance in your mind where you can think of that was like the worst possible? Like, how did this scheduling happen? How do you guys deal with that?
I actually, yeah, very exact moment when I full body cramped at the Open. I was playing. Part of the reason why I chose not to play doubles anymore at slams, I think I was playing doubles till 9:30 or 10. You know, that night, having to eat at the courts because by the time you drive an hour back in the city, places are closed or you're having to do room service, which isn't, you know, the best option. And for some reason, being an American player, the Open decided to put me on second on Grandstand, which is the hottest court, the most enclosed, second during the day after a women's match. So obviously maybe not be as long. And so yeah, that was one of the roughest schedules I've had. Turnaround time, yeah, obviously with the preparation, you know, you guys know how early we get to the courts, and plus the hour drive from the city to the court. So I would think got back at 11:30 or 12. Then you do your treatment and rehab, and then I'm up at 7 a.m. the next day. You know, getting minimal sleep and then having to play 3 out of 5. So yeah, part of the reason why I don't play doubles anymore at slams, but yeah, that's hopefully fixed now.
Do you think people underestimate that aspect of what you think the confidence and all that is?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It depends how closely you follow tennis or if you know players, you know, personally. But yeah, you think you finish a match now and I just go back to the hotel. But there's you know, a cool down period now, then getting food, and then an hour and a half of treatment rehab on the body. You know, going to the gym, maybe doing things you need to do. So a lot of behind the scenes work that people don't see, which is part of the reason why you know, it does get a little tiring after a while if you're gone for so long.
Take a couple more from the back.
Jack, I think we're all assuming because of the weather pattern this week that this has been hell on the players. Describe what it's been like for us.
Hot. It's been warm for sure.
Talk about like the rain delays and the starting lates. I mean, has this been grueling?
Yeah, I've been on the very, very fortunate side of it. Playing at 4 o'clock yesterday was wow. Pulling out of the tournament. Yeah, I'm gonna hold it. Yeah, playing at 4 yesterday was a major blessing. I think 20 minutes after I finished, it started downpouring. So, you know, while it was downpouring, I was able to have my feet up at the hotel for most of the day and nights, and you know, the other guys having to wait around till 10 o'clock to play. You know, whatever it was a pretty crazy storm. But yeah, so I can't speak for having to wait around too long to play. I did the first night just for a little bit, but other than that, you know, I've been on the fortunate side of playing earlier in the day.